Blue jay, now it's a blue jay feather there. Comes off the wing. There we are, it's a blue jay there. There's not a huge amount of feathers there. It's not that easy to get hold of at times, but you can get it obviously. But there is substitutes. Quite a few you could actually use. I've used over the years. I've even used peacock neck feather, which is a nice bluey green colour, which works really well, by the way. Dyed partridge, grey partridge dyed blue. Guinea fowl dyed blue is very popular. It's easy to do, it's easier to find. But the blue jay is a nice fibre, and there is a few ways to actually put the jay on. The old way is to strip it from one side. Basically what happens when you strip the feather, you get a thin edge off the stem of the feather, and tip, usually lose the tip a wee bit sometimes. Sometimes you're lucky you get the whole lot. There's one here where I've stripped. I'll get the full feather all the way down, so I'll probably get 2 flies out of that one. But I'm going to show you now. There's a couple of ways of doing it. I usually sometimes like to moisten it, soften it first. So what I normally do is, well, I can do it without the vice, but just to grab the tip. It's hard to show you really, but to grab the tip here, and you've got to start off really slow. So you hold the tip of the feather. In this case, with my left hand, I'm holding it, and I slowly start to tear it away, and you'll see it starting to go, and there it comes. Just take your time, and it'll come away. And there we are, so that's it there. And you can just carry on down, just take it away. And that's your feather stripped. Obviously the blue jay. Now that one worked really well. It doesn't always work like that, but this was perfect. You couldn't ask me for much better than that one. But basically that's how I stripped the blue jay from the feather itself. So now we're going to tie the fly. So now I'm on to the second pattern of the Kingsmill moor flies. This is the Claret Bumble. Now I'm going to tie it as close to the original, the dressing from the book A Man May Fish. I'm going to be tying it on the old hook, this one here. It's an old size 10, but you could use like a standard 10, like a competition heavyweight, Camisan B175, anything like that. It could be a lighter wire. Just tie it with whatever hook you have. And size, because you can tie this in many sizes. It can be big, it can be small. It's a most popular size, especially in Ireland, around about 10, 12s. Be 12s and maybe 14s in the smaller locks. So it's best to tie a few of them. Now, as I say, the hook, this is an old style hook. It's a lovely old hook, so it's to go with the set. I'm putting together 4 sets. So anyway, thread, I'm going to use a black thread. You could easily use a red or claret even. It's a good colour. You can mess about with the colours, but anyway, I'll stick to the black. Now you want to come down, wax your thread, sorry, and then come down the length of the hook. I like to get to the point where it's in line with the barb, just at the point where it starts to get down the bend. Now you're looking for a nice orangey tippet. There's a collar here. It's a golden pheasant tippet. This one, when you're buying them, just look for ones with a nice bright orange colour, a nice broad black tip. Makes for a really nice tail. In the original one, you're looking around about 4 to 6 fibres for the tail. I usually hold the tip of the feather and then trim away what I need. Lengthwise, I usually to the length of the shanks is a bit right. Then I do a turn on top, holding it, and then I come underneath just to lock it. You can move the tail fibres around at this point, that's fine. Trim this the length of the body, which is there. I'm using a small oval gold tinsel for the rib. Catch in the length of the body, and then I'm going to screw this in. Just run your thread up, just tidying things. Now you want a good couple of head lengths from the eye for tying in the hackles. You want to come back down, and then you're looking for a medium coloured Claret. This looks quite dark here, but it's actually it's a nice medium colour. Slightly dip it onto your thread. Slide it up. Once you've got it on the thread, what I like to do is do a couple of turns and then tighten. Just use that as an anchor point, tighten the dubbing knot. And as you wind, you can put it on as thick or as heavy as you like. Just work your way up. I usually like for some sort of taper in it. It's fine. Just stroke back, anything going forward. Just draw it back and then put thread turns in front. Now you're ready for the body hackles. Now you're looking for a claret and a natural black. So this is a claret I'm using. This one's a it's a medium type claret. It's got, you get different types of claret. This is one I like. It's a sort of medium colour. Fibre length, it's up to yourself really. I'm looking for, if you put the stem in line with the shank of the hook, you'll see the length you're going to get. So this is a kind of middle hackle. Now I'm using up I've got a saddle, a natural black saddle here, and I'm using up the short feathers. These are natural black. You could use dyed black obviously, but in the original fly it was a natural black. Just removing the fluff from both feathers at the base. Now I'm going to put the claret over the black. You can go either way. Now I'm just bringing these together. I'm going to trim so they're both the same length, the stems, so I can tie them on. Just wax your thread so you can catch them. Right. Make sure these are secure. Just run down that 2 head lengths of your left behind. Now I want a turn at the top. There's a wind down. Now this can be as many as you like, it's up to you what way you want to tie them. That's 3 turns. Now you're only going to get so many turns. Now that's the 3rd turn. I'm going to come up into the 4th, but before I do that I'm going to bring over my rib, bring it up, bring my rib through these 2 feathers, and then just going to check, see how they're sitting, that's fine. I'm going to rib the body all the way up, around about 5 turns or so. Just making spaces when I feel that if I'm going to trap in some fibres, I'll just stop and go back. Usually the faster you get up the better. When you catch in your rib, trim away. Once you've got 3 or 4 turns in, trim the hackles away. Best to do them individually. Sometimes I break them off, but they're quite strong, the stems. So tidy this area up again, wax your thread, then we tie in the blue jay. As I say, I use the tip on this one. I'm going to use up the bottom. Maybe not just as bright a feather in it, but I like the bottom part of the feather. So I'm going to catch it in. The tip, obviously I don't tie it down here, it's from the tip down I wind these on. Get my hackle pliers. And then, oops, just make sure it's going to lay for us. It will sit, just draw it back. And then you're looking for nice straight turns. Anything that wants to go forward, just bring it back. It's going to use up the blue jay. Don't worry if that happens, go back. Just take your time, be patient with the fly. Oops, done it again. I think I've actually got, I use a small pair of hackle pliers, and they're not very weighty, but I like them. It's just, I'm used to them. So as I say, just wind one turn, front to the other. Just sort your way down using up the hackle. Just make a space for your thread to come through when you get to the base of the feather. Make sure you get 3 or 4 turns in. Just ignore things just now, you will catch the odd fibre. Just going to make a space so I can get in. Just wash your thread. Trim away your hackle. Tidy up. Just grab your whip finisher. 2, 3, 4 should do it. Trim. And there we are, that's it. I'm just going to take out a couple of fibres at the back here. Don't want to cover the tail with fibres, so I just like to make sure that you can see that. All the stuff away. And there we go, that's the Claret Bumble. Finish off with a coat of varnish. Now if you're going to obviously put it in a frame or whatever, you can, a couple of coats of varnish will make it nice and shiny, but for fishing, a single is fine. And there we are, and that's the Claret Bumble. That's the second of the set of flies from Kingsmill Moor. As I say, if you're looking for the book, it's called A Man May Fish. Yeah, I bought my copy off of eBay. It was just a working copy. It's just a, to zoom out so you can see it. I mean, I call it a working copy. It didn't have a, what you call a dust sheet on it, which I wasn't caring about. It was inside I was more interested in. And the flies, the patterns are in here. You'll see them. What page number is that? Page 83. And you'll see the first fly is a golden olive, the bumble, and then the Claret Bumble. It's the first 2 flies. So there's the rest will follow in behind it. It's a great book. Certainly worth recommending. I recommend that book. So there we are. As I say, that's number 1 and 2 of the set so far. I've got the bruiser and the claret. So just zoom in again so you can see it. A wee blow with the hairdryer. You'll see the nice shape. So that's what it's going to be like in the water. It'll sit back that nice shape once you start to fish it. Just get another coat of varnish. The varnish I'm using is Vineyard varnish, and I've got it thinned right down. And it dries quick, so it does. I mean, the best to give it a couple of hours before you add the second coat on, but as I say, this is quite thin, so it dries quick. And there we are, Claret Bumble, tied the old way, tied the way it was tied originally. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and again, thanks for watching.